Thanks, Joe.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the show before the show. Just kind of hanging out until we start, making sure everything's ready to rock and roll. Hope everybody's doing well on a Wednesday. Good morning to you, Trisha, Angie, Kimberly, Bendy, Angie, Jim. McCarthy is a rhino, but guess what? So are all the Republicans.
Yeah.
They really are. And then you can start going at it, and Republicans eat their own.
They sure do.
And Shay, good morning. Jeannie, Jessica, good morning. Chris, good morning to you. Oh, that was yesterday. And Helen, hey there.
Right, Bindi, everyone start rolling up your sleeve for that fresh new cupcake.
Told you I had the best idea ever.
Which one?
It's cancel this at the clinic.
That's right. We need to do that. Cancel this day at the clinic. Come get your cupcake. Now that people would really thought we lost our mind. I bet there is some people already in line, though. Really excited about that.
I just hope they stay safe.
Me too. I don't wish them any ill will. Chris says the only cupcake I'm getting comes from the bakery and going in my belly. Cupcake does sound good. A nice chocolate cupcake right now. Some whipped cream.
I think
Whipped
the show
cream
has
on a
ruined
cupcake?
the word cupcake for me.
What'd you say, Joe?
I said the show has ruined the word cupcake for me.
It really, yeah, I get that. I get that. Cupcakes now are like really in at parties and weddings and stuff now instead of cake. Not that that has anything to do with,
No,
politics or news,
yeah,
but,
I thought that's been that way for a while.
it has been. It has been. My daughter at her wedding, though, she didn't even have cupcakes. She had a donut bar.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
It was really cute.
Inflation.
Oh, Angie, we can say jab, but for a while, if you said the C word or the I word, and I think you can say those words now, actually, immediately our Facebook would start to go down. But I think you can say jab.
Maybe it would. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's funny is we're
Hey
so
guys,
conditioned.
inflation's back up. That's cool.
Whoop whoop.
Mm-hmm. Chris said that they had assorted meats and fishes from the wild at their wedding. Grrr. I can see that about you, Chris, for sure. You got great pictures of you guys fishing.
Oh man, let's see.
Chris says that's why he always says, or no, Chris says that's why I always say jib jab. We got two different Chris's on the line there.
Hey guys, in the show before the show, we do appreciate you guys letting people know about us, forwarding our show to people, letting them know, sharing on whatever sites you consume us on. It all helps.
Yes, it does. Share away, share. And you can even text it to a friend. You can take a show on any of the platforms, even on the audio after the fact audio shows. You can actually text it to a friend and they can get that particular show right up.
Can send stars. We just say good morning, everybody jumping in again. Chris, Karen, Bendy, I couldn't remember if I said hi to you, so you get a double dose of hello.
A double dose. A double dose of Bindi.
I'm tired of hey Paul, good morning to you. When I have my youngest with me,
Mm-hmm.
Legitimately, because he eats 2 dinners.
Oh, okay. So your grocery bill goes way
Well,
up.
I mean, the grocery bill's up. It's just I'm so damn busy
Yeah.
food preparing.
I'm sure.
And it's what I wish I had him every day.
Yeah.
Not just week to week, but man, I'm just like constantly. It's more difficult to come up with food ideas and do
Mhm.
food than it is. Now he'll eat anything, but than it is coming up with show topics.
Isn't that the truth? There's plenty of topics to come up with, but food, yeah. I get it. Yeah. My daughter, when she's in sports too, she eats us out of house and home. My grocery bill has gone way down now, though, because we only have 2 living at home.
Bendy, no. Mizzou does not require students to get the cupcake.
Good.
You do not have to.
Good.
It was highly encouraged. My daughter chose not to. But, good questions. We take questions as long as they're not too intrusive. See, but Trisha, you'd have to load up a lot of food if you live out, quote, in the country, fewer grocery store runs.
Yeah, I guess she probably does have fewer grocery runs. You can't just like run down to the Schnucks around the corner.
Did you see, I guess before we start the show, the real show, for our local listeners in the St. Louis area, Riverview Gardens High School.
Yeah, I heard about it.
But what I can't find is how long they're doing this virtual learning for.
I heard what I heard was
it starts today.
Today, and I think at least through the football game. And that Friday on the football game, they are going to have it, but they're doing virtual learning all the rest of this week. And then on Friday, they're going to go ahead and have the game against Jennings, but only parents and the actual
this week.
athlete.
Oh,
yes.
It's like back to COVID days.
Yeah.
By the way, this has nothing to do with COVID.
No, it's fighting. That it's fighting within the schools.
And
yeah.
They had a girl. I mean, and the bowling and just a lot of problems. There was a girl last year. I remember she tried to take her life after being bullied. Allegedly, the school didn't do anything about it. They didn't take the threats. Finally, the girl tried to take her own life.
That's so sad.
She did not succeed, but I think she hurt herself really bad.
What school was that?
It's Riverview Garden.
It is Riverview. Yeah. Up until 3rd grade.
That's in the St. Louis area for our national listeners, by the way.
I went to Riverview Garden schools until 3rd grade. And it is, like Trisha's saying, that is so crazy and sad. There's such fighting. They had to do whatever their code word is.
All starts with parenting.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Everything
all parenting.
Starts with
Correct.
Parenting.
They had to keep doing their special emergency codes yesterday and the day before. I don't know if it happened last week, but Monday and Tuesday, they had to break up fights all day and use code words, almost like a terrorist type attack. That's how they had to deal with it, and finally just said, we're going to do virtual learning the rest of the week. And I haven't heard anything about next week, but if you're planning on going to that football game, you can't get in unless you're a parent. I don't even know that siblings can come in.
Yeah. Stephanie says parents need to be punished. It's another thought to look at.
Yeah, she's right. Maybe the parents shouldn't come.
I've always said that I did not like that idea, but
yeah, I don't know. But I agree if it's that
especially
bad.
If you have split families.
Yeah.
Because we all know that not all, but most exes do not like each other. They do not agree with parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And one parent may be teaching one thing, another may be teaching another. If parents are together, it can be tough on kids. Get one message here, one message there. Kimberly, going back, I guess it was food. Vic, my friend, orders from Fresh. Everything comes prepared and ready to cook up. Might be an option. Yeah, could be. We'll see.
They have all good, healthy food.
Pam says she agrees with me, especially if you have split families and kids. And
like Tara's saying, how many of those kids have an involved mother and father? I don't know. Probably not many. Could typically.
When you look at the stats of the kids who get in trouble, most are from broken homes. They are.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
It is a fact. Yeah.
Or parents not living together.
Mm-hmm. And an absentee
Not that
dad.
that can't work, so don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah. Yep. Split parents do have to do a lot
and
more
they're
work.
at home less.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. And a lot of times there is no dad. And so, yeah, it's really sad. But I agree that maybe the parents shouldn't be allowed in either. Maybe it should just be the students playing the game. But then I don't ever want to ban parents from things either.
Thanks, Sarah, for the information.
So, yeah, but it's unfortunate. But I think it's the best bet. You'd have to have police. You wouldn't even have enough police for the fights they've been having there.
Yeah, we'll just continue to talk about it. Let's go ahead and start the show then, Joe, if that's cool with you. Hey, you know what, Joe? Can we just yeah. We'll come back first though. I got you. You know what? No, we won't. Can we try something really quick here? Can we come out of the gate and run our ads just right now and just come back up and start fresh?
You want me to start the intro after the commercials?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Can we do that?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes here. Like, subscribe, share the show. We'll continue to talk about these school situations where it's gotten so bad at schools, kids fighting.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, we're not going to deal with it. I hate the idea. I'm like, that's giving in. I know maybe it's a timeout. I don't know. But I was like, no, you do it. You come to school. You're going to pay attention, not just go, well, we're not going to deal with it.
Right.
I don't know. God, I don't know. It just came up. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to process.
I know. It's an awful situation that's
like
occurring. I don't like it either.
We'll be right back. Hey, by the way, for those there, for all of you that want to rip Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker, you'll have your chance. Mitch McConnell, if you didn't believe him now, or before, you'll believe it now, what he did yesterday. He's not only an incompetent man, he's an evil man.
Yeah,
and I'm using the word evil.
Yeah, you are.
After what he did yesterday and said and how he handled it. Owen Schroyer's situation, he finally spoke from InfoWars. Never stepped foot in the Capitol, never encouraged anything, only said 1776, and he has a 60-day sentence. Josh Hawley came strong in D.C. over what we've been talking about, what we talked to Andrew Bailey about yesterday. And of course, Josh Hawley, it's funny to think about this, but Josh Hawley was Andrew Bailey's law professor. The Biden team managed to make another mistake. It's every day. They don't care. Every day they make another massive mistake. We'll tell you what happened with that. You've got MSNBC host saying that they hope Trump dies in prison, needs to die in prison. Inflation's on the rise. Of course, we got Kathy Helbig Strick, Steve Strick in studio today. Later in the 9:30 hour, we've got our Weed Wednesday segment with Charlie Unger. Can't wait to talk to him about that with Green Light. Plus, we'll preview Joe's show. Joe's got a podcast, by the way. I encourage everybody to watch. And we've got a high school football recruiting show that starts tomorrow as well. As much as I love our show and all the 1.7 million views and listens we've had in 8-9 months, that one may be our most popular show.
Yeah,
it may be.
People will love the football show. They will.
So anyway, we'll run our commercials. We'll come right back. We'll start the show that way today. Okay. All right.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Marco! Wait, what? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. Happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday. This is the September 13th podcast of Cancel This, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. We have the merchandise store set up. You can get some great product and help us at the same point in time. We've also got a partners page. You can check that out. If you're an advertiser, you own a business, your friends do, let us know. If there's somebody we can partner with. We need those advertisers to continue to do what we do, and we are grateful for the ones that we have, as we just showed you. They're with us and have been with us for a long time because it's working for them. We're grateful for what they do, but we need more, so let us know if you know of anybody that would want to do that. Also today on the show, you can send us stars. They send that via Facebook? Lizzie,
yes, via Facebook. Right at the bottom of it, next to your comment section to the left, there's a star. You can press that and it'll tell you what to do.
You can do that as well. So just let us know. If you have any questions, go ahead and do that. If you always have stories, let us know. Ideas for interviews, let us know. We're grateful for that. I get a lot of information. I get a lot of emails throughout the day. I get a lot of messages. Hey, did you check this out? You check that out. By the way, if I don't get back to you immediately, it doesn't mean I'm avoiding you. It's just I get a lot of those, and we're grateful for whatever we can get so that we can do those stories. Okay, lots to get to. We were just talking about this kid's story. We'll get back into that in a second. Kevin McCarthy wants an impeachment inquiry, but not a vote. It's because he doesn't have Republican votes, so not everybody can blame Kevin McCarthy. You're going to hear from Mitch McConnell, and if anybody didn't wonder if this man was a wolf in sheep's clothing in the Republican Party, you know now. Then you've also got Representative Scott Perry being asked the most ridiculous, stupid question by a mainstream media woman. And of course, he put her in her place really fast with his answer. Owen Troyer of InfoWars responding to a 60-day sentence, literally, for standing outside the Capitol. That's it. That's it. Threatening speech or something. I've never heard of such a thing. Senator Hawley setting record straight in D.C. The guy is flat out a leader. Biden and his administration with another just massive mistake. This is 3 days in a row an embarrassment with Joe Biden or his administration. Many people think that he is doing stuff on a daily basis. So anyway, MSNBC host Trump said that Trump should die in prison. We'll get to that. Inflation is up. And also, are you an upper class, middle class, or lower class when it comes to your finances? We're going to get into that too. Kathy Helbig Strick, Steve Strick coming up at 8:30 from Experience Realty Partners and the Score Mortgage Group, powered by New American Funding. And then, of course, 9:30. We've got our Weed Wednesday segment with Greenlight Dispensary, the largest dispensary in the state. Okay, we are packed. It is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. That's what we try to do every day. And literally, we work 24/7 around the clock. We really do. Myself, Joe, Lizzie. Sometimes I'll say, oh my God, Joe sent something else. And I'm like, damn, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Lizzie said something. Then they see me send something. It's literally around the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Alex will send stuff. Derek will send stuff. We'll heck, when Ben's on there, he'll send something.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to make sure that we have everything we can. We were just talking. Let's finish it up. Never would I ever imagine that a high school would stop having kids go to class, and not for COVID, but because of fighting.
Yes.
And it was happening at Riverview. We had a lot of good comments. People say it's all about, most of the ideas that we're getting from people is it is a parental issue, and it seems to be happening with schools that are close to inner cities or inner city schools. It's not happening when it comes to the county. Hell, I haven't heard of it happening really ever. We're not going to go to school anymore because this is happening at Riverview Gardens. Too many fights.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to stay at home. And I guess they're calling it a cool down period, a timeout period. I don't know. Yeah, time can heal things and it gives you a little chance to step away. But at the same point in time, I feel as if, unless they feel as if doing that can normalize, I was just going to use it, Helen, normalize the situation, fine. If they can take care of what's happening with whomever and whatever in the meantime to stop it.
That's
if you can't,
so sad.
then you come back and then you're dealing with the same damn problem again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just there. Just a couple of weeks ago, Cardinal Ritter Prep had their football game. I'm trying to remember. I think it was, I don't know if it was Soldan or Vashon. Gosh, I can't remember. And I feel bad now. One of those two schools canceled the football game because there were threats of violence, that there were going to be shootings, and that Cardinal Ritter fans and Cardinal Ritter players would be shot.
Yes, yes.
So they canceled the football game with Cardinal Ritter Prep. So there's a lot of that kind of crap going on. And that's a St. Louis area school. It's a city school. Cardinal Ritter's the private school in St. Louis City.
Well, and there's another Catholic school, Duchesne in St. Charles County. They also forfeited playing against Cardinal Ritter, and they said it was because of COVID. Yeah, there was a couple kids sick, but it's really they didn't want to play.
Well, yeah, because Cardinal Ritter's #1 in 5.
Correct. They just didn't want to play.
Thank God it wasn't because of shootings, though. And the reason I brought that up was the fact of violence, which leads us into the Riverview Garden situation. That the school district literally is, no classes. So they need to be doing something behind the scenes, dealing with parents, dealing with whomever that they need to make sure. And if you're going to let some kids do that, I'm sorry, they have to be gone. They have to be gone. They have to find a different situation, because what happens is you let a few or a lower percentage mess things up for everybody, then that's on you in the school district. So hopefully they get their act together with that whole situation that's going on and how they allowed it to get to this point in the first place.
Correct. And if you're a kid,
because those things build.
They do build. Absolutely. If you're a kid that doesn't have anything to do with this and your outlet is going to school, now you're stuck at home.
Yeah. Or if you're afraid to even go to school because of the situations that are going on.
Absolutely.
And we know kids can get their hands on weapons. They can do all kinds of things, and then you never know. Jody says kids see all the crime and no punishment. Bingo. Deterrent.
Yeah.
That's what happens. In home training from Shay Russell. Yeah, it is. I do believe it starts with parents. It isn't going to help. Kids still have phones, social media, etc. Social media is part of the driving force of it all, says Stephanie. Parents aren't holding themselves nor their kids accountable. Yeah. Oh, Tara says, and that's how Duchesne got the Rona. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how they got the Rona. They got the Rona because they didn't want their Rona's butt kicked. So that's really what it was.
Helen says, I mean, normalizing the idea of allowing kids to stay home. That's my problem. Just like they did with COVID. The kids start trouble and then they should be kicked out of school. Exactly. They should be.
Yes.
And I don't believe in throwing lives away. And if you throw kids out of school, there's a massive issue that happens. But you got to think of all the other kids who are doing things the right way. And there's got to be another situation. Then it's on the parents. Then it's on somebody. You can't allow it to happen. I read the article twice. I saw it first at KMOV.com. I'm like, what? What? They're calling off school. They're going to go back to virtual learning, not because of COVID, but because of so many fights in the school. How many damn fights does it take to cancel school?
Yeah, well, probably quite a bit. And, kids are not getting punished in public schools anymore in the way that they used to. And some public schools have it set up that you can't even kick them out. You can't expel them anymore. And it's basically because they're afraid of lawsuits. It's all about getting sued.
Yeah, and it's happening. This, of course, in the St. Louis area. There are, I did see that there was a school, I think in California, that closed down in a crime-stricken area for a while because they had a bunch of gang issues that were going on. But, I mean, Riverview? I mean, really? It's hit Riverview from that standpoint? So anyway, Tara says punishing the kids who actually want to be in school and learn. That's what it does. That's what my point is.
Yes.
And what about the kids who won't get a decent meal for the rest of the week?
Correct.
There are those that can happen. Those situations can happen as well, especially if you're rare. So anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to, it kind of came up this morning as we were in our show before the show. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I saw that pop up. I thought it was, I don't know. And we've got this, I mean, time to let schools hand out punishment again. I don't know what kind of punishment that would be. Kind of letting you guys free flow right now. Brendan says, anyone know if Trump plans on campaigning in Missouri? Never been to a Trump rally. Would love to go this time around. Yeah, if he did. I know of no plans.
Yeah, I don't know of any plans. And Brendan, if you have a chance to go to a rally, it's great. We went to his second rally ever, and it was in St. Louis City, and it was something to see. And when you saw it firsthand, you saw what was up that early on because you saw the buses pulling the protesters up. But that being said, there's nothing like a Trump rally. They're the best.
Well, hey, something else came up. We'll get into it a little bit later in the show. Apparently, Mexico has now shown alien bodies. And this is the first time that I know of a government officially saying, here we go. We have aliens. These are aliens. We're going to let that happen as well. Derek says, by the way, these schools, they let kids pretend to be the opposite sex. They let them be furries or whatever the hell they want to. Public schools are turning into a joke because they've gone woke. Everybody's afraid. I had a friend. Rob says, by the way, are they aliens or demons? That's another great point. Are they considered legal? Well, I don't know. I have a friend at a public school in the state of Missouri that's considered to be the number one school district in the state of Missouri every year. Or number two, usually number one. And one of the reasons he stopped coaching was because he said the parents are the worst to deal with ever. Once again, I always talk about, he's like the by far the worst. And he's like, not only from an athletic standpoint, but from a class standpoint. He's like, it's all about parenting. The only thing that's changed, the world has changed, yes. But since, kids were growing up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, the only thing that changes, yes, there are peer pressure situations. There are influences, but it's the parenting.
Yes.
It's the slippery slope that I always talk about. You give a little here, you give a little there, you give a little here, and then in 5 years, 10 years, you're like, holy crap. I've gone from here to there and I've allowed this to happen. And parents get in the way of a lot of things. That's the problem. It's just like deep breath, teach your kids the right way, the wrong way, morals. For me, it's a God issue. Kids don't know, but you don't get up in the morning thinking about what you can do for God. You get up thinking about what you can do for yourself. And the marketing of this country, the good versus evil situations, taking God out of schools. And then next thing you know, you're putting metal detectors in. You're worried about going woke and you wonder, oh my God, what has happened? You lose that protection. There isn't that protection. And, I may lose some people with that thought process, but it's there. By the way, Addie says, hey, we saw a Trump parade in Kansas City once. It preceded a rally. It was terrific. Probably 2-3 miles of cars and trucks with big American flags and signs.
Yes.
Very peaceful and patriotic. Folks waving, folks honking, and that's that. We were talking about the Riverview situation, how kids are being taught, how kids are being trained. Parents, I've always blamed parents. God gives you the right to be a parent. You have this gift to be a parent.
Absolutely.
You can't be absentee parent.
And it's sad, and so many are. And I agree with you, Vic, on the part when you wake up and you just think, what am I going to get from the world today? It's me, 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 me. And you don't see the bigger picture that God created you for service, to do things for other people. And even if you're not a Christian, if you still just stop being selfish and look out at the world and how you can help it, that would stop a lot of this. A whole lot of this.
But that's not the message the media sends.
Correct.
It's all people, oh, well, we can't talk about God.
Right.
We're going to upset people. This started with PC stuff with the Clintons. It did. And then it's only gotten worse year after year.
Yeah.
Month after month, day after day, second after second.
Yes.
And Kathy says some of the parenting has to do with the fact that some are afraid to discipline because they get in trouble. 100%. A simple spank on the butt can turn into a big deal.
Yeah.
The kids know that. I know a family where a woman accused the husband after going through a divorce because he spanked a kid of child abuse to get more support, to get and got it and got more visitation and custody because of it. I mean, it's once again, it's all about destroying good versus evil. How do you destroy God? If you're from an evil standpoint, you destroy the family. You take the family, you use the kids. A lot of this stuff happens. To me, it's clear as day. It's A to B, black and white. I see it very clearly.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, and that's fine. But we start to wonder what the hell and why, and kids doing what they're doing, not caring, just kind of whatever. But you know what? At the same point in time, kids are growing up in the toughest time that they've ever had, and we need parents more. Jay says, we didn't have prayer in schools back in the 80s. That's not the problem. It's no consequences and no parenting that's the issue. Correct. But it does coincide with morals, and you have to have a moral belief system. And I do believe a moral belief system comes into play with doing the right thing and not looking for excuses all the time, Jay. So that's why I say what I say.
Yeah.
I do think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand too, but he's right. You can be a moral person and not be, a religious person. It boils down to morals and values and doing the right thing. For me and for Vic, obviously, it totally encompasses God. But it goes to what Kathy was saying too. Parents are afraid. It's not as bad, believe it or not, today as it was even in the 90s. And that's where it started, late 80s, early 90s, where parents, if you spanked your child, DFS showed up at your door and they could take your child away for corporal punishment. Well, then parents did fight that, and now they can't just do that anymore. But because of divorce situations, because they are afraid that they're going to get called by child protective services, kids have the upper hand. But it still goes back to what you said, Vic. It goes back to parenting. If your child respects you, they're not going to call DFS anyway. They're not going to do it. Or if they say they're going to, say, okay, here's your bag.
Yeah.
Just one of my kids kind of did that. And I said to her, here, darling, here's your bag. And when DFS comes to get you, they're going to give you a different family, and you won't have your toys and your mom and dad. That was the last time she ever said that.
Yeah, I doubt that she would be pushing that. Derek says, did you guys see the ultra liberal St. Louis City State Rep bringing a bill about the Bible being back in school or something like that? No, Derek, I'm not familiar. He wants to know, is this a gateway to usher in a woke agenda into the school using the Bible, a woke agenda?
Well, I do agree with what
I don't know what he's saying.
Today,
I don't understand it.
I'm not sure if my kid was in public school. I would want any of these teachers who now are very liberal, who do not actually understand the Bible, teaching religion to my child.
Well, there's a lot of pastors who don't understand the Bible.
You're exactly
That's why there's
right.
40,000 different denominations of faith, but I won't get sidetracked.
No, but you're right. And so that's why they need to just keep
Well, this is the way I think
out.
it should be. So I'm going to start my church.
Correct.
And I disagree with you, so I'm going to start my church.
Mm-hmm.
My church is faith. My church is love. My church is give me whatever.
Right.
Anyway.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree. I could not agree with you, Lizzie. What a fantastic point you make with that. Because did you guys see the ads? They were in, I'm assuming they were all across. Jesus gets us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus. If you really looked at the commercials and you heard what it was saying, they would show, it was almost like Jesus was, and he caused uprisings.
Yes.
And it's like, it was almost as if it was a commercial for BLM.
Mm-hmm,
or it's all right to fight back if you feel like you're being wronged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
This is a bunch of crap. And it's meant to try to distort what is true, cloud the waters.
Yep.
If you see it, I haven't seen those commercials in a while.
It's been a while, but I looked at them and I thought, oh, this is so refreshing. And when I went into it and you went and deep dived them and I even interviewed them, they are, you talk about woke. It is totally to your point, Vic. I won't go into it because you already hit it. You are exactly right. That's what it was. And they wouldn't answer any of my questions anyway. So that's not a church. That is another divider within the Christian faith.
And I say all that despite being frustrated with my God for lack of answered prayers too.
Right. Well, but it's always God's
because I'm human, but I'm still, I'm hanging in there.
We always want things in our time. But God, if we wait for God's timing and you ask for it, you typically get what you want, but it's not in your time. It's in his time.
Rob says at Lindenwood, the world religion class, the teacher said Jesus never existed and pushed every trilogy on besides Christianity. Didn't get a good grade in class for standing up for my faith, as did others.
Well, Rob, that's sad because that used to be a Christian college. That used to be a Presbyterian college. Now, I know Presbyterian has gone very far away from real biblical principles. It goes with that. I hate to keep saying woke, but it goes with that woke agenda about, God loves everybody, and he does, but you also have to follow his ways and his teaching. Yeah. So that's very sad to hear that about Lindenwood. I've heard that too, and that's heartbreaking. So when you go there, don't expect Christian morals to be given out.
I'll get into this and we'll move on to another topic here. Greg says, get this. One of my favorite shows, mainly to keep my brain sharp, is Jeopardy. Fair enough. Lots of people love it. I've liked the show as well. But now the new season is sponsored by Moderna.
Oh, come on. So they're even wrecking Jeopardy?
2 commercials before the final Jeopardy and still no side effect said. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, Pfizer sponsors a lot too. And once again, there are a lot of people around the country who think that what Pfizer and Moderna have done is good as well.
Don't you find that a little odd that most drug commercials have, that long-winded attorney spiel at the end, may cause dizziness, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this is a great way, but it may cause dizziness. You may be on the toilet forever. You may not get sleep. You may not be able to walk to your car, but try Suncha.
May cause you to want to kill yourself,
True, yeah.
But when it comes to that, the jab, they're not talking about side effects.
You're right. Good, very good point. Again, Joe, they don't.
That's Greg from the chat.
Oh, Greg. Very good, Greg. Very good. But yeah, that is true. You don't hear that. Think about that when you hear that commercial. They don't say it's going to make you drop dead on the football field. It's going to make you have heart palpitations. You could have, arrhythmia. They don't say any of that.
Yeah. And by the way, as Glenn reminds us, the United States is the only country where pharmaceutical companies can advertise drugs.
Yikes.
And Jay says Moderna commercial with disclaimer that cupcakes aren't for everyone. Mary says it should talk about the strokes that are there as well. And then Pam says this too. And I know this firsthand as I started to look at the school. And I hate to say this, but Lindenwood, and I got a little taste of this when COVID hit. and dealing with some of their PR team. Pam says Lindenwood has gone rogue as well, just like all the other universities that started out Christian.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That they have, and I hate to say that, but
Yep.
they have. I'd like to. I mean, I always want your close schools, the
Yes.
schools in the area to do well, but they have.
They have. And you know what it is because the woke agenda, the breaking down of America agenda, breaking down of our churches, that's being taught. The DEI and social justice instead of biblical principles are in every single seminary. So if you look at seminaries, I mean, right here in St. Louis, we have Eden Seminary, we have the Lutheran Seminary, we have Catholic seminaries, and everybody that I know, and I'm very close friends with our pastor, he said it's heartbreaking because inside of all of this, there is people breaking into the seminary, so to speak, and they're very woke. And so it's the young people that are coming in and the older people in the seminaries. So there's a battle within all the seminaries too. It's sad.
Well, it started after World War I and World War II. There were plants, Marxist plants and Nazi plants in the church to try to go in and start evil within the church. That some of that is still there today, trying to start to dirty the waters. Well, no, this is how I see it. And then you go branch off and do everything that you want to, that you know, from an evil standpoint. All getting back to what we were talking about with the kids at Riverview, so much fighting, so much out of control behavior. They couldn't handle it. They're sending kids home. They are going to have the football game. No homecoming dance. They're going to allow just the parents to come and watch the football game. Hopefully they can get that in control. And then, of course, Cardinal Ritter had one of their football games. I don't know if it was Vashon or Soldan, as I said, canceled their game because they said there were threats of violence, that parents and kids from Cardinal Ritter Prep were going to be shot at the game. So they had to, quote, cancel that game. And that came from that opposing high school, too. It wasn't Cardinal Ritter making that up. I do have a lot of respect for the job that people do at Cardinal Ritter with those kids. So anyway, that's that. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. Projo in the house still to come. Kevin McCarthy has his impeachment inquiry. Yes, he's called for it. We'll see where that goes. But he didn't call for a vote. We're going to break that down. You're going to hear Mitch McConnell's just nasty answer, irresponsible answer to everything that's going on with the impeachment inquiry. Representative Scott Perry getting badgered by a reporter. He quickly puts the reporter in their place over things that are going on. Owen Troyer, 60 days in prison for doing absolutely nothing just because he was at January 6th, not even in a Capitol. That's what can happen. Senator Hawley doubling down on the lawsuit that Missouri has initially won against the Biden administration for infringing upon your First Amendment rights, especially during the time of COVID. An MSNBC host saying that Trump should die in prison. What class are you? Do you really know what upper class is? Middle class when it comes to finances, and lower class. You may be surprised to hear what's going on with those numbers. Inflation is back up as well. Coming up at 9:30, we've got our Weed Wednesday segment. We've also got Kathy Helbig-Strick and Steve Strick. They'll be here any minute. So we're grateful. I didn't want to get in it because I know that we're going to be walking in the door. We've got so many topics to get into. I don't know. Where should we do something quickly? Or?
I do. We can even hit just very briefly the bit about Kevin McCarthy.
I didn't know if we should go to Mexico and the aliens.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's do
because the
Mexico.
McCarthy subject is so it's a deep.
It is.
It's a deeper subject.
Let's do the aliens.
Yeah, the Mexican aliens sound a little bit. It sounds like a quicker segment.
By the way, if you didn't realize, Mexico of all the countries now has released bodies. We said this earlier. It was Vashon who canceled the game. Thanks, Tara. I appreciate it. All right, here's the segment. Is there volume on this? Is there sound? Or is it just video?
I'm not sure.
All right, let's play it and we'll see what happens. This just came out today. Allegedly, we'll see what's happening. Okay, alien corpses on display in Mexico. Mexico has just brought this out for our listening audience. they're showing us pictures of what appear to be mummified alien bodies, tiny ones.
It was a strange day for Mexico.
Tiny. It almost looks like the old Egyptian. Doesn't it look like the old Egyptian face?
Yeah, it does. It does kind of look Egyptian. The mouth and the face kind of.
Mexico Congress held a public hearing on the alleged alien corpse. I mean, literally, they have their Mexican flag draped behind them, and experts claim the bodies are not part of a terrestrial evolution. So then what are they? They were found in mines in Peru. They're like 2 foot tall.
Wow.
DNA evidence presented showing over 30% unknown DNA. So Mexico's Congress once again put them out there. I don't know. I don't know what to believe on this.
I think it's a distraction, and I think they had a good artist.
Yeah, that looks like an art project.
Yeah, it does to me too. Some kids in high school or college had an art project and put it in there, and Mexico's clearly having a diversion from something as well.
It does look like a little ET of sorts.
Yeah, Crystal said it looks like ET. Rob says he thinks it's
I think
fake.
it's fake as well. I do.
It does look like
It's just weird.
fake.
I mean, once again, if governments put something out there to show you, then think twice about it.
Yeah, then you probably know it's fake. And I mean, I think that these people think we're stupid, that our government, the Mexican government, all the higher ups in every country, they think we're dumb. Or hope we are.
Yeah, I just continue to look at it. If you're on the listening podcast, if you have a chance, you can check it out at canceltheshow.com. We have the video there at this point during the show. But they're tiny. They look like dolls.
Yeah. I love
Not
Rob's
that we
thing.
know what aliens are going to look like and sound like. I mean, we only
don't.
have
No.
make-believe Hollywood stuff.
Like Jason. Oh, good.
I'd say they're about the size of a 6-month-old baby.
Jay says even if it's real,
Distraction.
he's going to believe
Look
it.
this way from Gary.
Yeah. The cartels told them to distract everyone while they move the fentanyl,
Glenn, you in.
says Rob.
Glenn said you need to check to see if the fingertip glows.
Oh, good point. Good point.
E.T.
ET phone home.
Ow.
Yeah, new subject. Don't waste time. Liz, I know.
I agree.
I popped it in. I got a message from the Strix. They were caught in bad traffic on Highway 40 in the St. Louis area. So I didn't want to jump into a really good topic. And then, we have to stop that before we go in because we've got a lot of really good topics, tons of good topics that we are going to get into. I promise. So I was just sitting around going, okay, let's go. Sometimes that happens with things that go. Okay, real quick, I want to get into this, and it will lead into Kathy and Steve in some senses. Are you in the upper class, middle class, or lower class when it comes to your finances? What do you think upper class would be considered a household making money per year?
Upper class, you said?
Yeah, upper class.
Over 250,000.
Based on the Pew study, household income needs to be over $156,000 a year.
And that's upper class?
That's upper class. Upper class is now considered to be $156,600 a year to meet the definition of upper class.
That's interesting. I would have thought it was higher, especially with today's economy, that you can't buy what you used to be able to buy with it.
And in the last 11 years, those in the upper class have increased their salary by 20%.
Interesting.
So they're making more money. Middle class is considered to be those who are making, the median income was $75,000 a year.
Okay.
That according to the Census Bureau. So if you're making $75,000 per household to $156,000, that's median class. And then low class, if you're in the lower class for finances, you are the total what we were just talking about, $75,000 and less.
And less. Okay. Well, that's interesting. And that's lower class?
And that's lower class.
Wow.
So I guarantee people who are bringing in, and maybe I guess unless you're in a worse situation. I guarantee people who are bringing in $156,000 a year do not consider themselves to be or more an upper class.
Correct. It
Not with the
doesn't
price
go
of
that
things. There's
far.
no way.
Especially if you got a couple kids.
And especially because inflation during the month of August, we just found out, went up 3.7%. Awesome. And we welcome it. Are we good to take our peeps yet?
Our peeps.
Okay, there we are. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Steve.
Hey guys.
I was looking up a little bit at you. We're always looking up at you guys, though.
Thank you.
Good to have you in the studio. Last week you guys were at the lake, right?
We were, yes.
We get you back in
Sunday.
now, though.
Yes.
And then Derek says, what is considered the redneck class? I don't think it has anything to do with finances. I think it has to do
That's
with
true.
yeah.
That's
High
right.
class, low class, rednecks
That's right.
all over.
Yeah.
That's right. There's a
Go
lot
to the Lake of
of
the Ozarks.
that's right. A lot of rednecks make a lot of money in those boats
They
in the
do.
Lake of the
True.
Ozarks.
Yeah.
So
True.
you betcha.
Kathy Helbig Strict with Experience Realty Partners, 314-276-SOLD. Of course, Steve Strict with Score Mortgage Group, powered by New American Funding. And who knows, maybe we'll talk a little new age health and wellness.
Maybe.
Guys, how you been? Did you guys close up shop at the lake? Did you guys go down throughout the
Closed
fall?
yet. Nope. We had our first week of being an empty nester.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we
You guys are
celebrated that.
So we
at
left the nest.
We
Okay.
Went
celebrated
to the other
and
nest.
mourned.
All right, so
Celebrated, mourned at
you
the lake.
guys, all right, your parents, you guys have raised a lot of kids. A lot of kids have come through your house. House
Yes,
is
it's true.
not only
Still
your
are.
own kids, but friends' kids and lots of people. I recently started dealing with it a little bit, not totally. How's it been for you guys having a kid? And now it's just like
Not having
more time.
kids?
Yeah, it's more time for you guys.
It is. I mean, it's not like 100% different because our daughter's been in Chicago for 3 years. Our son's been out of the house for a long time. So the last one, she didn't spend a whole lot of time at home, between her dad's house and our house and friends. You catch them for 15 minutes flying in and out of the house. So
Yeah.
if you really break it down and go, okay, we didn't see her a whole lot
Mhm.
this last year anyway.
Yeah.
But mentally knowing that they're not there. And
It's a little
you're not-
different.
it
And
is.
emotionally.
Yeah, it is. I find myself thinking about her and them a lot more during the day now because they're gone versus
Yeah.
when they were here.
Makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
and even when they're gone or in their room,
Yeah.
they still come out every now and then.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You catch that 15 minutes.
That's right.
And you have to
That's right.
feed them.
Yeah.
Is Elena coming home for dinner
Yeah.
tonight? That
Mhm.
question, I caught myself. I was going to text her, and I was like, she's not coming home
She's
for
not
dinner
coming
tonight.
home.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh.
Yep.
Do you find more time for you guys?
But it's
or is
all
it
good.
always that?
Yeah, last week we had.
We worked from the lake, but
We worked from the lake, but there's always that time where we got to get home for Elena.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that, so
Yeah.
it was no pressure to get back, and it's bittersweet, right?
Yeah. Bittersweet.
But
That's
she
a good
needs
way put it.
to.
It's a little weird, but it's also fun.
Yeah.
She needs to live her life and experience life in
Yeah.
the big city. So happy for her.
I know.
For
I'm starting to get a little emotional now thinking about that.
You ever want
Yeah.
to come over, buddy? Just come on over.
Some
You guys can both
support team.
cry.
Well, I still have one every other
do.
week,
Yeah.
and I'm still
Yeah.
making those 3 to 4 meals a day.
Yeah.
But those weeks that I don't have him, it's that way. Now, something you guys dealt with, you had a child that went to the University of Missouri. You went through going back to all the parent
2.
weekends.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. I
of
am
them.
in that. I was back at Missouri this
So
last
much
Yes.
fun,
weekend.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
I was
and
with
that's
my
kind of sad for us because our last one didn't choose that route.
Can we go with you?
you know what? I'll be going back.
Yes.
It was interesting. I was back at the University of Missouri this last weekend,
Yeah.
and I was out with not one but 2 of my kids
Yeah.
Yeah.
because my daughter's been there 3 years now.
Yeah.
My son just got there,
Yeah.
so we got invited, and we're in a place called My House.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
We've had many parties.
And
at my
then
house,
I
trust
remember
me.
you guys being there. And
Yes.
somebody grabs us and say, "Hey, come over to our
Yeah.
specialized roped off
the
area."
Table.
Yeah.
And I had one of the best times I've ever had with my
Yeah.
kids, so I get it. But then I left, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, they're there now." I come back home, and
Right.
and then I'll be by myself after
Yeah.
I'm making meals
Yes.
for my kids.
Yeah. Those
Um,
were fun days. So I've seen some stuff come up on social media with other friends, and I was a little bit like, oh, darn it, we're not going to have that with Elena because she's going to a school that doesn't really have sports, and it's more of an arts
and it's a city
and
school in
visual
Chicago.
school in
so
Chicago. So
I totally get it.
very
Um,
different.
okay, when you guys came in, we were talking about upper, middle, lower class.
Yes.
I'm curious when it comes to people trying to buy a home these days. I mean, what kind of money does it take? Does it matter? I mean, is there a certain income level, or is it, hey, if you can afford the house, you can afford the house?
Let's be honest, because we always are, right? The lower class is getting the short end of the stick in this market.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They can't afford the homes.
Mm-hmm.
The interest rates are going up. They used to be able to afford those homes that were $100,000, $200,000, maybe $300,000. Now those payments have gone up 50, 60%.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel for them. And, you know, they try to come out with these products that help them, but it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not enough.
Well, we need real talk, and people
Yeah.
need to understand what's going on. Because if you understand you have truth, then you're like, okay, what can I do?
That is
What
the
do I
truth.
need to do? Or is
Yeah.
it even possible to do this just to make the best of what sounds like a bad situation?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw something today on the news and said that household incomes are basically suffering at a point where they were 12 years ago. And it's a combination of, you know, wages not going up and inflation continuously going up.
Mhm.
So it's getting worse. It's not getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But I also saw when we look at the money and I know August, I just brought up inflation is up 3.7% in August.
Right.
You know, I also saw a report from Jamie Dimon yesterday stating that just because things haven't gotten horrible yet, some people might think that they are, doesn't mean that they're not going to.
From Jamie Dimon.
Yes.
Yeah. Jamie Dimon runs Chase.
Yes.
He's doing okay. He's upper class.
And he's upper class.
He's upper
Mega,
class.
mega, 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 mega.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glenn's worried he's like, our rate's going to break 8%.
You know what?
You have
So-
more
so-
experience in this. Not that it's your.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though, is, you know, you say 8% and they're looking at national averages. There are times when people are in the 8% right now. It could be because they have a lower credit score. It could be because it's a, you know, second home or an investment property. So we've seen those. You know, what we're seeing right now is really, call it low sevens, mid sevens. And hopefully they're down around the 6.5 range by the end of the year.
Let's
But
hope.
we don't know.
You've said this before on the show. You're like, they could go up a lot higher. Nobody
Yes.
knows. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all just prognosticating at this point in time. And then with you guys being in real estate, you're like, hey, you're just trying to weather. I think you might have said it, one of the worst and most unpredictable times ever. And you're one of the most experienced people in the St. Louis metropolitan area and the country, for that matter, with what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at what's going on, I know it's like deep breath each morning. We get up, but people are still buying, right?
Yeah, they are. Houses are still coming on the market. I checked today. There's still over 600 that came on the market. So back in the spring, we weren't seeing 600 hit the market each week. We're seeing a little bit. Some of them are getting negotiations. Some of the prices have come down just a little. Some of them are still hot commodities. You know, it just depends. But we're seeing a little, like I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, we're seeing some fallout. Unfortunately, people will go under contract, back out during inspections. We've seen people back out during the bidding process. They're like, they want to oh yeah, we want to write. And then all of a sudden they hear there's 5 other offers and they're just like, forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, so we're seeing a little bit of that kind of fatigue going on. But we're still moving houses.
Art, would you say now is a better time to buy than playing the waiting game? Maybe the interest rates go down, because if the interest rates go down, then prices of houses are going to go up, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what we think.
100,
right?
No, 100% because we're still in a shortage.
Yeah.
We still have a supply and demand issue. We've had all these buyers now that will be going on almost 2 years of pent up wanting to buy,
Yeah, we're
but they're
getting
sitting
close to
on
2
the
years.
interest rates. You know, we've
Yeah.
got the sellers that have been sitting in a house because they don't want to lose their interest rate. So as soon as we do adjust and we do get down, if we go back to the 5s somewhere or even 6, we're going to see a rush of people that will come back out. So the houses that might have to negotiate a little bit now, all of a sudden again, there'll be a line of people.
Yeah. I mean, people need to think right now, if they're wanting to buy a house or thinking about buying a house in the next year. So they take their interest rate and they take their payment today. So let's just say rates drop from 7% to 5.5%. You're going to pay that extra amount for a certain period of time.
Right.
Now, what is the damage that's going to be done when rates do drop and you have to pay an extra $50,000, $100,000 for the home? You're going to save more money by paying that higher interest rate for 6, 12, 18 months.
And with BlackRock, we've talked about this in the past, and all these other people coming in and buying all these properties because they want us to have nothing and be happy. You have to go buy a house. You have to stop renting. And a lot of people are renting right now because they sold high and then figured, okay, I'm going to rent for a little bit and then I'm going to go run. You need to do it now.
Just like maxing out your credit cards.
That's right.
But
You're not gonna get ahead.
But Lizzie, renting is so high.
It is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
continuously going up. Yeah.
You're screwed on all accounts.
You are screwed on all accounts.
But somebody just replied, first-time buyers don't have a chance. That's not necessarily true.
Oh, explain.
Well, because there are products out there that can give first-time buyers a little bit more of a leg up to negotiate. Now, granted, they're still in that price point. It's a very popular price point for most first-time buyers. It's under $300,000 or under $400,000. But we had a amazing success story this week with a first-time buyer couple and a price that was at the low 300s. There were multiple offers coming in. We put an offer together strategically under list price, which I was like, oh, I don't know if you guys are going to get this. There's 3 or 4 other offers.
Because that's the most that they could offer.
Because it was the most that they could offer logically, knowing that the house needed some work. So by the time we talked about, by the time you pay this and then put this into it, are we going to be in a place that's okay if you need to sell this in a couple of years? So their number was like 10,000 under list. And, it was a cute house, but it needed some repairs. And we strategically went in with the right type of removing other contingencies that made them a really strong offer on paper, even though the price was lower. This guy was in the construction business, so he was able to go in and say, and you can do this, because I don't recommend this to everybody. We went in and removed the contingency of inspections. Now, I don't, like I said, I don't recommend that for most people, but in his case, it worked because he already had an eye for it. So he went through and looked at the major things and said, listen, I know it needs X, Y, and Z. The fact that we removed that iffiness made the seller take a second look at our offer, even though it was lower than everybody else's, because he knew exactly what he was getting, versus if he took the price, let's say there was somebody that came in $20,000 higher, he still has to go through that inspection period where a lot of buyers either back out or try to renegotiate the price or ask for a ton of repairs. So he knew with ours, this is what I'm getting.
He took the sure thing.
I'm taking the sure thing. And they came back and accepted our offer. I almost fell over, but I was like, we got it.
For you to fall over at this point in your career after everything you've seen, it had to be a big deal.
But that's the thing. You just don't know. You may hear there's other offers, but you don't know how great those offers are. So make yours as great as you can. And so for the first time buyer, grab an inspector to go through that house with you and do a quick walk and talk. It's a couple $100. If you really like that house and you feel like you need to do something like that, again, if you're not an expert, don't go in without inspections. But if you bring an expert that says, hey, most of the major stuff is good to go, maybe you can still win some of those offers.
Kathy's point is first-time homebuyers do have a chance. You just have to be with the right agent.
And with like
with the
financing products, being able to turn a financing client into a cash buyer through the right financing product is huge right now.
Was this one that you were working, and I don't know specifically how it works. Was this one you were working yourself, or was this one of your agents?
Yeah, it was
a combo.
It was a referral from a very close friend of ours that this person worked for them. So I jumped in and
well, congratulations.
Showed them a couple houses and it worked, So yeah.
Now, how are things going with your agents? Because I also saw Steve. I saw some video work. I love what you guys are doing from a social media standpoint, and I would encourage people to follow Kathy and Steve on all of their social media, because not only, and we'll talk about it, are you doing stuff with New Age health and wellness, but also I think I saw you posting something with real estate agents. A call, because I can't imagine it's a good time for real estate agents, and they may be wondering, they may be confused, questioning. And I thought I saw you posting like, listen, you don't have to be out in the wilderness. Is that something that you two want to talk about at all? Or?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're putting it out there on social media because I think that I know there's a need for this product, this model that we're creating right now more than ever. So the model that we created is to where agents, there are a lot of caveats behind this and there are details. And that's why agents need to know the details and consumers need to know the details, because once you get them, you understand that this model is going to work and it's 100% compliant. But we found a way compliantly for agents to make money on the mortgage side on their conventional and FHA deals, and then also build a downline by referring other agents into the program, which is building a retirement plan for agents that they've never had before in their life. And this is going to be revolutionary. It is going to change the game. But this model wasn't built by a lender. It was built by a combination of Kathy and other very, very high, well-known real estate people, professionals across the country with a lender. And that's where I think a lot of people fail when they try to do something like this.
And this is twofold. So the part that you're seeing Steve advertise is obviously agent related.
Correct.
So
Yes.
it's not,
Kathy's
we're
gonna
not
get
really
into the
talking
consumer
about
part.
the consumer side of it,
Right.
because consumers can be like, oh, what do I care if an agent makes a,
No, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it will help in the grand scheme of
Well,
things.
here's why. Here's
Yeah.
why my side of it is, yes, of course, we want to help agents stay in this business because agents are they're dying on the vine. So commissions are coming down, and it's a problem for our industry, and it's going to be a problem for the consumer when you don't have agents to go to represent you to go buy a house, right? But the other side of it is, and Steve can be my witness. I was on speakerphone this week, problem solving with another agent of mine, and the consumer spent an hour and a half just screaming at us, basically, because we have the listing.
They're representing the seller.
We're representing the seller because the buyer agent's client, who was dealing with another big lending company, can I say it?
Go for it.
Veterans United.
Yeah.
Ooh, like the baddest Bank of America people.
Shame on you.
So they've had, at least 45 days to get their loan, plenty of time, maybe even 60. And it was 2 days before closing.
2 days.
And Veterans United says, oh, oops, we have a problem. This buyer is, co-signed on a relative's car and there's some late payments and the relative's going to have to refinance the car and take her off or she's not going to get approved. So the seller is livid. Of course they are. The seller is livid, but the seller is misplacing their anger of like, well, you should have done your due diligence. How did you guys not know that this buyer was going to have this problem? We don't get to see on that side of the wall. There's a wall between the lending and the agent, even when you're representing the buyer.
Yeah, you have your playbook. You don't get to see the other
Right.
So we
Personal information.
only hear what the buyer allows the loan officers to tell us, right? And that's if the loan officer even wants to talk to us, because typically if you're the other agent, they don't have any conversations with you at all.
Well, if there's a problem too, the loan officer will run from you.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
So this agent, I know for a fact, because we talk every day about this particular deal, was calling this loan officer every couple of days. How's it going? Like, oh, it's great. Everything's fine. I know, okay, because it was a long loan commitment. Everything's fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine the whole time. And so that's what has been related to our seller. The loan officer says it's fine.
Why
It's
does
fine.
the model help that?
So the model helps that because by the agent getting their lending license also, now legally, as the agent who is in charge of that contract, who is in charge of the legalities of everything, who is in charge of all the time frames, now I can get on the other side of that wall legally and know about those things as they're coming down the pike instead of 2 days before closing.
Which ultimately helps the consumer
Which is going
a lot.
Yes. So like I said, what you hear Steve talk about is he's appealing to agents.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as a consumer, this is a really, really good thing because I can tell you it is not unusual for that story that I just told you to happen in our industry.
Oh my
It
gosh.
happens way too many times than it should.
So
and it's always passed when the buyer has any recourse. So that poor buyer, she tells us that she told this loan officer about this loan 60, 90 days ago.
Yeah.
This was not new information.
So what's going on with that whole story now?
We'll know today,
it's
right?
TBD. It's supposed to close today, not looking like it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week we have to fear
Yeah.
what happened on that. Because your seller, do they understand now? Do they get it? Do they understand
there's a lot of
the fact that it
emotions.
has nothing to do with you two?
A lot of consumers don't. They don't understand this process is a hairy process. It's unfortunate because the agent is kind of the puppet master. I always say we're the puppet master of the deal. But we've got inspectors over here. We got appraisers over here. We've got lenders over here. Like, we don't control what happens in their part of the game, but their part of the game affects ours so much. And we're the ones left holding the bag when something
Do you fight
goes
with
wrong.
these other
And
people?
here's what I'm hearing. So
Yeah.
she's in the kitchen on speakerphone with the agent, with the clients, and I'm in the other room. I hear all of this.
I'm
It's my
sure.
life. And
Oh.
I'm just thinking, our model solves this problem.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It solves this
It
problem.
certainly helps it.
And that conversation happens all the time.
Yeah.
So
Because legally, the loan officer shouldn't really be calling the agent and going, man, their credit score is pretty low. I don't think you should be out there showing them 25 houses today
Right.
when they've got a 480 credit score, right? I'm not supposed to know that as the agent.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So if the buyer doesn't tell me that, then as an agent, I'm not running around showing a buyer that can't buy a house.
gosh. Do you guys hang up on each other in those fights?
No, I'm the fireman. So I have to put out the fires.
fire
and sit there
person.
and-
You have to
fire
be
person.
correct in this.
I have to.
No,
I have
Fire
to be
woman.
solution based and cut everybody's emotions and try to.
I might have
keep
hung up
moving
if I was on
forward.
my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I know
that
it's
would
about
be
making
hard.
money and keeping clients happy, but damn, that sounds stressful.
It is stressful. It's
I'll
it's a lot
record
of
it
trying to educate.
next
I
time.
wish I would have recorded it. It would have been really good learning opportunity for a lot of
Happens once a
people.
week.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. That's
sure.
Kathy Helbig-Strick, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. If you're going to do anything in real estate, if you're thinking about it, if you just want to be educated on something, hey, I have a question.
Mhm.
Don't hold back. Give Kathy and her team a call over there. Give Steve a call when it comes to the mortgage standpoint. Score Mortgage Group, powered by New American Funding. Obviously, that phone number, 314-374-0770 or 314-276-SOLD for Kathy, because there's so many questions. Guys, I know you came in just a little bit later, but I have
Yep.
to give a
Yeah,
question
sorry
to you.
about that.
No
Donna
problem.
wants to know how land sales are going and how that would affect, if you guys know. I couldn't imagine it'd be any better.
Actually, we see a lot of people out looking for land right now. It's just finding
It's expensive.
finding,
too,
Yeah.
finding the right land.
It's
and-
like houses,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And not everybody can do it because it's a little, to me, if I have somebody that's really on a fixed budget of what they can spend for a house, the last thing I feel like that person should be doing is buying a piece of land and custom building a house.
Mm-hmm.
It always costs more than you
it
think.
Never. Yeah. You're taking a risk with it being way over budget because every time you get a bid on something that's a little more, then you run into a problem.
Yeah.
Lizzie, how are you feeling?
I am feeling really great.
Yeah.
Feeling
Good.
really great. It's all really working. Again, like I said, I don't know what the weight loss is, but I know I have it. I fit in
Mhm.
clothes, I
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
And there's really virtually no side effects. Right when you get the shot, you get a very dull headache. And I
Yeah.
mean dull. And then you get a little queasiness in your stomach, but that kind of makes me happy because I know I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
So like it literally feels like it's kind of
You know it's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt.
And
at
see,
all.
I don't have
feel
any of
great.
those symptoms when I take mine.
Yeah.
Really? That's
No.
that's all I have.
Mine was just heartburn. And so a
I
little
don't
heartburn
have that.
medicine, you're good.
And I don't have heartburn at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Not at
So
all.
And we're
everybody's
talking
a little
about
different.
New Age Health and Wellness because for those who know or don't know, Lizzie went into New Age and she got her blood work done, and you're taking some.
Yeah, my blood work was
Semaglutide.
great. Like I had
Mhm.
said a couple weeks ago, it was great. There was nothing wrong with my blood work, and I expected it to be, but I still wanted
Mhm.
to take the semaglutide to drop some weight
Right.
now that I'm on camera, and it's working. I don't know what it is. I'll worry about it when I go back. I think they gave me enough, semaglutide for, I think it's 6 weeks. So I
Yeah.
think in,
Yeah.
2-3 weeks I'll have to go back.
Yep.
And you don't have to give the shots to yourself. You could have gone in,
Right.
but it's just nice that they don't have to deal with
Right.
me.
And like
It's
we talked about last week, the shots for semaglutide and for women's testosterone, very
Insulin
tiny.
needle.
Little insulin needle.
Little
You
bitty.
don't even feel it going in.
you don't feel
So
it
if
at
you're
all.
shot
Yeah.
fearful or sensitive,
Mhm.
you'll be able to do it yourself.
Yeah, you could do it yourself.
It,
For sure.
and you're still recommending it. I know we have
Highly.
people saying that they're getting appointments.
Highly.
Once again, newagehealthwellness.com, NEU, newagehealthwellness.com. one of Kathy and Steve's companies. No, they're not the doctors. They're not the nurse practitioners. Just for people who understand what's going on. And then was that a side effect, Lizzie, that you were talking about? Because somebody said, are there any side effects?
Yes, they warned that there was some side effects. And so some of the because it's literally within just a couple hours, I feel a dull headache, but I mean, it's so dull. And you know what? I'm not even really sure if it's from that.
Yeah.
I mean, because, some of the times it could be just the atmosphere. So I might be blaming this on that, and it's not even that.
Totally could be though.
Yeah, but it could be.
Some people experience some side effects. Some people don't experience any side effects.
Yeah,
so it
mine
just depends. And the side effects typically are a little bit of nauseousness. You could have some heartburn. I don't know if I've heard headaches, but potentially, it could be. So, but very mild.
Yeah, very, very mild.
I'm not trying to get back to the real estate, but Greg wanted to know, and I'm assuming the best thing for him to do would be to give you a call at 314-276-SOLD. He's like, my aunt owns 2 homes. She's not getting any younger. How do I prepare for the difficult moment and probably the sale of one, if not both of those homes?
Yeah, we've been dealing with that actually a lot lately, is transitioning people from their own home into elder care or something like that. So yeah, it's really just, depending on if she's got her wherewithal to make those decisions herself, or she would need to give someone power of attorney for us to deal with it. So everybody's different. Sometimes we deal directly with that homeowner. Sometimes we're dealing with the family. So it just depends on their situation. But yeah, we welcome you to give us a call, and we can help you, or we can put you, if you're not in St. Louis, we can connect you with somebody that can help you in your area.
I think that is a St. Louis metro area person. So Greg, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. When you call, let them know that Kathy gave you some advice on cancelthisshow.com.
Yeah.
Guys, dude, we fly through time.
I know.
Sorry,
we were late today too. No problem.
No, that's
No
traffic on Highway 40.
You got Mitch McConnell to talk about.
We're gonna.
Good old Mitch.
We're gonna get in. We got a lot to cover. But guys, thank you again. We love you. And by the way, Pam said, "Thank you so much." Quote, love you guys. Thank you
Pam.
for your honesty. Exclamation.
Pam, we love you too.
And that's the best thing about it. You guys have seen it all. You've been through it all. You're not worried about this or that. It's like, hey, we're putting it out there.
Yep.
People need to know. We're trying to come up with new ways, new opportunities to not only help buyers and sellers, but agents as well. So
absolutely.
That's why I know you guys personally, and that's
Helping
why you
people.
guys rock. All right, you guys
Thanks,
are great.
guys.
All right,
Thanks for
guys.
helping us.
Thank you.
Of course.
Kathy Helbig Strict, Steve Strict, give them a call. We've got their phone numbers rolling as well. We are grateful for them. See you, big man. Thank you. Have an awesome day. This is cancelthisshow.com. Not only do we have Experience Realty Group, as we talk about, but Complete Auto Body Repair, Curtis Sparks and crew. CompleteAB.com is a sponsor for our show. Everything in your car, A to Z. Go there. 7 climate-controlled facilities throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. If you have an issue with your car, take it there. Lizzie's entire family goes there. I haven't had to take my car in yet. When I do, I'll be going to Complete Auto Body Repair as well. Also, Strategic Air Services, another sponsor for the show. When it comes to private flying, luxury flying, Kevin and his crew are going to do a better job than anybody you're going to find. You may be shocked to find out where you can fly for the price and the amount of people, and you don't have to deal with TSA. You don't have to worry about lost luggage. You're flying privately with your crew. CompleteAB.com. Once again, CompleteAB.com. If you're looking for car warranties, Todd at VPCnetwork.com is looking for you. If you want to make money, their top earners are making 6 figures. They train you in 2 weeks. You show up, you answer phone calls, and then people are asking you about car warranties. That's how you make your money. 6 figures or what their top earners are making by showing up and taking phone calls and getting people warranties that they're calling you about, trying to find out what they can do. And of course, Greenlight Dispensary, the largest dealer in the state of Missouri. The dispensary, they'll be on with us for our Weed Wednesday segment coming up in about 20 minutes. And by the way, with the Vehicle Protection Group, email Todd at as in Victor, Todd at vpcnetwork.com. That's Todd at vpcnetwork.com. They are looking for some people. Let them know you heard about them on cancelthishow.com. This is cancelthishow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. Pro Joe here as well, taking care of all the engineering standpoints. All right. We finally get to it. Lots to get to here. We all know the Biden crime family. We all know the stories. Democrats might try to say, well, it's all just hearsay. There's no evidence linking the Joe Biden to anything, there shouldn't be any impeachment inquiry. Well, yesterday, Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker, who has been labeled a rhino, who only got his position after a historic block of his vote, becoming the position after he agreed to follow certain guidelines by the Freedom Caucus, pretty much led by Matt Gaetz. Well, Kevin McCarthy finally calls for an impeachment inquiry yesterday, but he doesn't call for a vote of one.
Mm-hmm.
So while he does call for the impeachment inquiry, you have many Republicans who are following this going, wait, what? That's lip service.
Mm-hmm.
That's BS. Call for the damn vote as well to
Correct.
get this done. But then the reason he's not calling for the vote is, guess what, people? Republicans in the majority don't want the vote on it. And they're worried because of previous impeachment inquiries against former President Trump, where they don't want to give that power. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But before you get pissed at Kevin McCarthy, you have to look at the whole situation and look at the history of why Republicans don't want to do it. It's not a great situation. By the way, the Biden administration does not have to follow along. The DOJ hasn't been following along, and this will take years to get done. Can it be a symbolic thing? Yeah, it could be a symbolic thing. But guess what? It's going to be another sideshow in the midst of everything else that's going on. I personally would like to see Kevin McCarthy call for it, but I understand why he didn't. And I don't have some hardcore stance. How dare you for not doing it when you actually break down the situation? At the end of the day, Jody sums it up. Republicans have no balls.
Nope.
There's a lot of infighting. Republicans will eat each other alive on the national scale, on the state scale, and the local scale.
You betcha.
I've seen it. We've experienced it. It is dog eat dog world, and it sucks that Republicans are like this, but they are.
I agree with Jeannie. They are weenies. Republicans are weenies. That's a great way to put it. They have no balls. They're weenies, and they do eat their own. We've said this before. I admire Democrats only in the fact that even though they're evil, their evilness sticks together. Vic is so right on
evil. You call them evil?
They are evil.
Some are.
Most are, because nowadays you
I know
can't.
some pretty good Democrats.
Well,
They're just lost.
Okay, that's right. They may not be evil. They're lost and uninformed. That's very true. Because most people that understand good versus evil, they truly make that a conscious effort between good versus evil. They would absolutely not be a Democrat. That being said, there's plenty of Republicans that also think they're so damn virtuous and they know better, and they're just, I know better. So they will go after a good conservative without all the facts at every level. It could be all the way up, all the way down to local, because they think they know better. So they do. Vic, you're right. They eat their own, and we get nowhere.
And a lot of people think it can be because of plants in regards to people like, and I'm sorry, and people go, oh, it's conspiracy theory. If you don't actually do the deep dive and look at the information, you got Mitch McConnell.
You betcha.
I was just getting ready to say that's one that I would like to eat. That's one of our own that I would like to eat.
You're
Mitch
right.
McConnell, though, he has like a 10% favorability rating and a 90% disapproval. Nobody wants him except him. Yesterday, Mitch McConnell was asked about this impeachment inquiry and if he supported it. And this is the Republicans' guy. Like it or not, he's there until he's removed. Josh, on. Here's the question where he was asked about this inquiry, and look how he slimes his way out of it. He refused to support the inquiry.
Leader McConnell. Do you believe it was a good idea for Speaker McCarthy to open that impeachment inquiry into the president's name?
The impeachment inquiry. The impeachment inquiry.
Do you support it?
Do you support that as a good idea?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The impeachment inquiry.
The impeachment inquiry that Speaker McCarthy announced to President Biden.
Yeah, look, I'm going to say it again. I don't think Leader McCarthy, Speaker McCarthy, needs any advice from the Senate on how to run the House.
Leader McConnell.
Okay. Wow.
He heard the first three questions.
He
He was
did.
thinking about how to answer it.
Correct. He heard. And now because he's had those freeze moments, he knows that he can use those. Or now were those freeze moments even real? Is he just now that? So,
Oh, no, those freeze moments were real.
uh-huh.
Today, yeah, because those
Yeah,
questions,
they look real.
No, those questions weren't tough questions.
No,
That was a tough question. Or you wouldn't think it was a tough question.
you wouldn't think so.
But now it goes to show you he doesn't want anything to go against Biden. The dude is a plant.
Mm-hmm.
He could very easily have said, yes, we support it. We need to have all the information possible because we have bank records that are showing the Bidens can't afford everything that they have, which leads to a premise of Hunter Biden bringing in all this money. And of course, tapes, we have text messages of all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we do want the truth to come out. Instead, he answers like that in a coward way after being the guy that he is. Sorry, Republicans. How can you expect anything to go well in D.C. on any front if he's one of your leaders? He's your minority leader.
Correct. And
he's your Senate minority leader. That guy, that dude who can't even stand up straight, waddles around. He's the equivalent to Biden. He should be gone. We've called for him to be gone. And he does that. If that doesn't show you that the Republicans have a lot of issues and a lot of problems, I don't know what does. Thank God Josh Hawley has called him out.
Yes.
Thank God he has called him out. Okay, but then after the impeachment inquiry came with Kevin McCarthy, you had Representative Scott Perry doing a press conference about it. Here's what he had to say. Listen to the question that he has asked. This is why I wonder, and you should never trust any national media or local media trying to do national politics. Just listen to the question first. I mean, it is like in your face. It's not a legitimate question either.
Can I just ask, what actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations to show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you?
Oh, I don't know.
McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge.
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just widespread corruption, but money laundering, if not influence peddling itself. And we also have the vice president at the time on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after the company that his son was working on. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blunt, look, I'll turn it over to the attorneys.
People can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
It's because you don't report on it.
You're not, We're reporting on it today.
I'm not sure how you know what the American people think, but here's what they might wonder.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. First of all, you have these.
I'm not sure how you know what the American people think, but here's what they might wonder. Actually, if you're a federal prosecutor, you would be asking yourself, how can there not have been an indictment for a FARA violation against Hunter Biden? How can there possibly, my understanding and discussions with staff have confirmed my impulse that this would be very much the basis of a Foreign Corrupt Practices Act investigation, given the circumstances that we know. The question is, it's funny. After we come out of the events that John Durham, for example, testified to our committees about how investigations proceeded through our investigative agencies without proper predication. It's not that you have to prove the case. It's not that, you understand, to this point, there's not been a single subpoena to a Hunter Biden bank account or a Joe Biden bank account.
And we can get out right there. You get the idea. Number one, media plants. Number two, there is every reason for an impeachment inquiry to find out what's going on. There is. And there's plenty of evidence as to why. Now, Democrats are up in arms, or at least doing their TV stuff. Oh, this is just revenge. This is political revenge because we're going after Donald Trump. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of smoke fires all over the place regarding the Biden crime family, who they've had dealings with, the money coming in. They're trying to get to the bottom of it all. That's all that this is about right now. Kevin McCarthy wants it. There's no vote, but there's not enough Republicans like Mitch McConnell who have that same sentiment that want to even vote on it. Yeah, it would be great to indict him, but he's not going to be indicted. And it just goes to show the DOJ in this country is working with the Biden administration.
For sure.
They're not working with the House Oversight Committee. The problem with all of this, it would take years before they would have to answer. Biden won't even be breathing. He probably won't. And I'm not trying to be mean or crass when I say that. That's how these things work. There's a process. It takes time and it sucks. And we see some Republicans on the same side, but not all of them. And that's where we sit today.
That's correct. And so many Republicans are not on the side of this. And so as much as I'm not a huge fan of Kevin McCarthy, he really is in this situation, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. And I know Matt Gaetz was really mad at him yesterday. And I don't know if I know a lot of people say he doesn't, they hate him, but I think it's more that he's part of the Freedom Caucus that has to push him, because there's no one backing people like the Freedom Caucus, because we have up there all of these, and I hate to keep using it, all these rhinos that literally do not care about the American people. They act like Democrats.
The quote rhinos that you speak of, they're stuck because of previous ways of doing things when it comes to indictments. And once again, on the surface, let's get the impeachment inquiry. I get it. It sucks how it's all put together, but because of how they were trying to protect Donald Trump and certain issues when it came to impeachment, they're trying to, sometimes I don't know if it's, you got to get dirty. You got to be a nasty a-hole in politics to go after the other side if they're coming after you. But I do feel in a lot of senses, they're trying to still keep this stoic, well, we're going to be kind. We're going to be nice. We're going to let things play out. And it's not working.
Right.
And it's not a good message to send to Republicans or conservatives right now when you see the Bidens getting away with so much and you see what Biden is doing and his administration on a daily basis and how it's killing this country.
Being nice at that level doesn't work. I mean, that's why we are in the
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But you're not wrong. I mean, that's exactly right. They're up there either A, pretending to be virtuous and, oh, we're going to be okay. We're not going to do this. This is how we used to do it. Or they're part of it. And that's why people on the chat line and people that we talk to every day they feel that we, the people who they're supposed to be working for, they just aren't. And when you see people like, Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell yucking it up with Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they're friends outside of what they're doing up there. And they go and they have coffee and they have dinner. And I'm understanding you want civility where you work. I get that. However, that's why they get the Democrats keep getting what they want.
Well, they're still the same people that were associated with the DOJ and the Biden administration who infringed upon your First Amendment rights. Josh Hawley, listen to what Josh Hawley was doing this week. Josh Hawley, this sound right here, going after and bringing light to the lawsuit that was brought by Missouri, started with Eric Schmidt, now U.S. Senator, and Louisiana. We had Attorney General Andrew Bailey on the show yesterday talking about the success at the appeals court level. He feels this will go all the way to the Supreme Court because you know who you are, and on whatever platform you may have been on, if you expressed your opinions about cupcakes or COVID or anything else, you had, quote, time in jail from a social media standpoint. You had posts deleted. Your First Amendment rights were stopped. Well, listen to the attention that Josh Hawley gave to this here this week.
What if the government made a list of authors whose books it wanted banned and also went to all of the publishing houses in America, the government did, and said, do not publish the books by any of these authors or we will punish you? Is that a problem under the First Amendment?
My hope is that the government would not be involved in the decisions of a private company.
Good. I would hope so too, but apparently that is not the case in the United States of America today under this administration, because the hypotheticals I've just given you aren't hypotheticals at all. They've happened, and we know that they are happening. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals just ruled in a case, Missouri versus Biden. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. It's going to go down, I think, as a landmark case in the worst possible way in First Amendment law, because what the Court of Appeals found is that the White House, not just the federal government, but the White House actively coerced every major social media platform in America. Let me say that again. Every major social media platform in America to ban speech that the White House did not like. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about speech on the COVID-19 pandemic, speech on the 2022 congressional elections, speech related to mask mandates, speech related to vaccines. What did the White House do? Well, over a period of years, they met with, on a regular basis, the leaders of social media companies and demanded that the speech they did not like be taken down. They further demanded that these same social media companies amplify the White House's speech. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Josh Hawley. He is incredible when he is in that setting, interviewing people, trying to get truth out and bringing more attention to what we have right now. Thank you, Josh Hawley, for doing that. These are some of the things that we've had to deal with when it comes to the infighting with Republicans and Democrats. It makes it very difficult to get along when Democrats have promoted your free speech being eliminated. Ask Owen Troyer from InfoWars. This gives me chills. Getting a 60-day sentence just because he was at January 6th, not inside the Capitol, but expressing his free speech, his First Amendment rights outside. Owen, who is a St. Louis kid, CBC graduate, came onto the show before. Listen to Owen here talk about his 60-day sentence and what he did and how law and these situations are being used against people trying to speak up. And we promote everybody's free speech on this show.
If I had been a leftist, Democrat, liberal, progressive, and I rioted during Trump's inauguration, or I rioted during any of the years that Donald Trump was in office, whether it was the Summer of Rage in 2020 with the Black Lives Matter riots, or any of the events during the Antifa riots, I would not be here today. I would not be facing jail time. And all of this would have been washed away in the legal system if it would have even made it that far. I never went into the Capitol. Now, do you think any of them will face what I face? Do you think any of them will have the scrutiny of the legal and justice system that I've had? Is this my country anymore? Is this the United States of America anymore? Is this the country we want to live in when a prosecution, multiple U.S. attorneys, and a judge quote me saying 1776 and USA in a criminal offense? Is this the United States of America? Is this the constitutional republic? Is this what so many have fought and died for, including my own forefathers, my grandfathers?
Wow.
Yeah.
He's so right. I mean, if he was a Democrat at the BLM riots, literally you could go to a Trump rally and burn a car and you get nothing wrong with you. But then you just go, I mean, you could do all kinds of bad things, but then look, you just show up on J6, but because he's also a mouthpiece, a very big mouthpiece, and he's a mouthpiece for millennial conservatives, that they just want to shut him up. They want to scare him and shut him up and make an example of him.
Pam, I don't think his attorney had anything to do with this. I don't know. I don't know if our friend Scott Rosenblum would have taken this case, considering where it was being heard, the judges that have been dealing with the January 6 cases and the sentences that have been coming out. They have not been fair. That have not been right. It's just one of those things. that have been happening.
Well, and Vic, they're still being scared. I know of a person that originally was going to come on the show. He was there on J6. He never went in the Capitol either, but they've come and they've destroyed his home. They keep putting their thumb on it. Anytime he tries to even rear his head, they're back at him.
I know it's good. Right before we get to our Weed Wednesday segment with our good friend Charlie Unger with Greenlight Dispensary, I did have to bring this out. It's sad, but it's another moment of levity. The Biden administration yesterday, of course, we know they were in Vietnam. They had a speech, and there's one problem, though. They posted a picture. They did this. They put this out on the White House social media pages. They said, thank you to the president of Vietnam. The only problem is when they said thank you to this man, the president is Van Thong. He's the Vietnam president. Vo Van Thong, Thuong. President Vo Van Thong. The problem is when they thanked him for the time when they were there, they put the picture of the chairman of the National Assembly. That would be like saying, hey, thank you. It was great to see you. Barack Obama.
Uh-huh.
And it was Mitch McConnell's picture.
Oh my God. Yes.
Once again, this blew up in Vietnam and they're like, what? They don't even know who our president is. They put the national chairman's picture up there. So then it's another embarrassment for Joe Biden, another embarrassment for a White House. It's a little thing that, damn, you should know better than that.
Yep.
Where it's just mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake.
In all fairness, all white people look the same.
Well, there you go. I'm sure.
I thought you were going to say Asian because we're talking about Asians.
But that's why all white people look the same. So no big deal.
Right.
No big deal.
I mean,
Mitch McConnell, Biden. Yes.
They all look the same. That's
they
right.
are the same.
Oh, they are the
Mitch
same.
McConnell and Joe Biden are the same. All right. Yeah,
We just look stupid.
It's embarrassing. It's stupid, and God, you don't know what else is going on. I mean, what else is going on that's not getting caught or behind the scenes? Anyway, it's time to lighten up the show a little bit with our good friend Charlie Unger, who we absolutely love when we get a chance to talk with Charlie. It's our Greenlight Dispensary segment, our Weed Wednesday segment with our friend Charlie, the largest dispensary in the state of Missouri. It is Greenlight, of course. Charlie, welcome to the show, my friend. How's life been? How are sales going? What's happening with product these days with Greenlight?
Oh man, always thank you so much for having me. I love kind of, coming in at where I do with the show, and it's kind of nice because weed really can be an antidote to a lot of the craziness that we're seeing in the world. So sometimes it is a necessity. And we love being here for that.
Cancel this flower.
Absolutely, yeah. When the world can just feel a little too heavy and chaotic, we got you. That's what we're here for. But no, always good to see you guys.
I wonder what it would take to get a cancel this strain. Is there any way to make that happen?
I'm not the guy, but I guarantee you it can be a thing. When we're all kind of around here shooting the breeze, that's sort of our fun party game that we like to play. If you were to breed two things together, what kind of wordplay you can factor and what kind of effects you can make. But it is kind of funny to see, if you ever scroll through our menu here, we usually have about 50 to 60 strains, and you see some pretty crazy off the wall ones. So yeah, I would love to throw in a good word for making that happen for you guys. I'd love it.
Heck yeah, the good idea, Joe. We should try to do something like that. In the meantime, you guys continue to rock and roll. Are sales still as steady and going up? Do you have new customers coming in wanting to know how you guys can help them? Because as we've talked so many times, people who are experienced with marijuana and how it can help, first of all, from a medicinal standpoint, second of all, from a recreational standpoint, now people are going, damn, I can use this and get off the damn pharma.
100%, and always, so grateful to you guys for providing a platform for us to talk about cannabis, because you guys know my whole approach to this is we're out here to show that this really is one of the most normal, helpful, and beneficial things that anybody can do. We're here to break that stereotype of lazy stoners, to talk about how we can find products that are fine-tuned for every beautiful human in America, and how we can really just optimize your life. And that's what we're seeing more and more of. And, we love you guys giving us a voice for that. Last time I was on, I think you were out of town, but I was here with Lizzie, and we were talking to some individuals from, Veterans Affairs networks and people that are really putting in the time to help recovering veterans. And that's a specialty we have here. Greenlight has one of the most generous veterans discounts you're going to find in town. But, with that, we got some good traffic and feedback, but there's still a lot of, a lot of residents in Missouri or residents from anywhere that think they need a medical card. And we always just want to reemphasize, no, anybody 21 and up can come and shop at our stores. No pressure to buy anything. If you just have questions, want to see what this is all about, we're here for it.
Charlie's talking about a massive discount for veterans. If you know veterans, friends, family members, loved ones, whomever, let them know about the massive discount throughout the Greenlight dispensaries throughout the state of Missouri. Greenlightdispensary.com, greenlightdispensary.com. You can also find them on our website at cancelthisshow.com. And you, if you're not a veteran, can download the coupon. You can go to the website if people are listening to the podcast right now and download the coupon. If you're watching, we pop up the coupon. We show you what that looks like. You download it, you take it in to any of the dispensaries, and you get a discount on your purchases as well. Big time deal to have veterans being looked out and being looked after, Charlie. I'm so grateful that Greenlight is doing that. Not only are you the biggest dispensary in the state, you have the most products because of your size. And of course, you have the best products. You guys always have more flour available than anybody else. And that is a big selling point. In the meantime, Jessica had a question for you.
Yeah.
She's like, Charlie, I have a really important question for you. I have a friend that had a double mastectomy, and she's in extreme pain right now. Doctors gave her a single script of, and I'm not familiar with the medicine, but tramadol, and they told her to take ibuprofen and Tylenol. I have seen a bunch of talk about RSO. How does it help? How is it administered? And do you sell it? If you can wrap that situation up for Jessica, she's trying to help her friend.
Absolutely, Jessica. You can tell your friend whenever it's convenient. You can come to this store at the corner of Chippewa and Watson. Ask for me personally. I'd be honored to help you out. But RSO, we've talked about it on the show before, but full spectrum cannabis oil is the most undiluted, pure way that you can really personally interpret the cannabis flower. And the beauty of RSO is, it is a very fine concentrated oil. It has a wonderful spectrum of application. In a case like this, you could take one of two approaches. One, oral ingestion, half the size of a grain of rice will alleviate any pain that you have, promote any kind of rest, appetite stimulation that you often see following, the needs that you'll see following a procedure like that. And then also it has topical applications. RSO mixed with coconut oil or some kind of host applicator applied to those areas of sensitivity can be just marvelous. I would recommend in a situation like this for your friend and anyone listening that has any kind of physical ache or pain, topical pain creams, it is one of our best selling products here. And the personal testimonies we hear are just incredible. My wife's grandfather recently had his leg amputated, and nothing was helping, just ease that just terrible pain, all those foreign sensations that he had, except for the pain cream that we have here. And also anyone if they're just timid about cannabis, those topical applicants don't break your blood-brain barrier. It doesn't make you high in the psychoactive sense at all. It just targets that pain and helps. I truly believe that if we got some of that in your friend's hands, you would be seeing just some amazing benefits.
Yeah, I hope that helps out for you, Jessica. What a terrific answer as well, Charlie. One more question here for you as well. Derek says, if my work is DOT compliant, am I protected anyway if I were not able to pass a drug test now that it is legal?
Yeah, so just being fully transparent, I don't want to ever give any kind of legal advice that might not be perfectly accurate. But that said, Greenlight still does offer a medical card services. A medical card is basically extending any of the protections that you have now written into the Missouri Constitution to consume and, carry and purchase cannabis. Definitely kind of takes that to more of a medical level. So anything that you purchase with your medical card is subject to HIPAA parameters in the same way, any other kind of pharmaceutical would be. But that said, private enterprise and corporate policies are still going to trump. I'm happy to look into that a little bit more. If you want to come here and follow up with me, hopefully I can have a little bit more of a concrete answer. But yeah, your medical card is, we still help anybody that needs one to come through and get it, just because it's that kind of extra layer of protection. But Missouri has done things very well in this rollout and watching out for consumers.
Derek, go ahead and try to get in contact with Charlie at his Chippewa store. And Charlie, and I've dealt with Charlie. He is an amazing employee, and when he says he's going to do something, he'll do it. He'll meet you at the store.
And along the lines of the medical card, do you know if they've taken away the stipulation that you can't purchase a handgun you're not allowed to purchase a handgun if you have a medical card?
Yeah, that is actually a great question. Back when we were medical only, that was a very valid inquiry that we had to field quite a bit. And obviously we weren't the only ones getting that question. So I don't have the specifics on the actual lawmakers, but when we were still medical, there was a really great resolution by 2 different Republican lawmakers in Missouri. One of them was from O'Fallon, that just codified basically that the rights of gun owners are not in conflict with the rights of cannabis consumers. And that misconception was stemming from people applying for their firearms and, checking a box that was, oh yes, I do consume drugs, thinking, that cannabis was, still leading to any kind of exemption, which it is, but that was just flagging, some of those applications and raising concerns. But, your purchases here are perfectly safe. It's not being logged in any kind of database that ties to your, to your person. But that's such a good, valid question. But yes, I encourage you to kind of look into that a little bit more. I was very proud of how that situation was handled at the legislative level of Missouri. They're doing a great job.
Yeah. Does that answer your question for you?
It does, absolutely.
From that standpoint. Hey, Charlie, anything else you want to jump in and let us know before we let you go today?
Yeah, always. I know we've had so many great talks going over new products. Right now, kind of gearing up for what it really is our busy season here. We're running some great specials. We always have great specials. But for any of your listeners, if you're looking to consume through vaporizers, whether it's pens or cartridges, Select, this company called Select, they're the #1 oil brand in the country. At all of our stores in St. Louis, we're running 20% off all of their products. You get a free battery when you purchase as well. And then I always just love to highlight some fun new ones here. We've talked about tinctures before. They are basically micro dose drops. You apply them sublingually under the tongue. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to eat anything. And these just have so many great precise effects. But we have these new sleep drops. Any of your listeners are having trouble sleeping, this is going to be loaded up with CBN, which is what we call a cannabinoid, a piece of cannabis that doesn't make you high. It's that with just a little bit of THC. And this is the most refined, basically scientifically acute way to get a perfect night's sleep you're going to find. We just got those back in stock. So I'm kind of over the moon. It stinks when we don't have anything, anything Greenlight brand, we're always going to have it. But some of these other players, we sell a lot of them here, but we are open and ready for anybody that needs help.
Charlie Unger, you're at the Chippewa location, Greenlight Dispensary, our Weed Wednesday segment, greenlightdispensaries.com, the largest, the best, the most informative dispensary in the state of Missouri and growing. Charlie, thanks again for your time, man. We'll catch up.
Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
All right. Charlie Unger, love catching up with him, and he's very informative, and it's about helping people when it comes to this topic. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart. When he was on with myself and Nicole, they really had a great conversation about how to help veterans. And they kind of got together to talk about that and give the discount from being here on the show. They decided to give discounts at all the locations for veterans because veterans are having a hard time in so many areas and they're on so many pharmaceuticals and they need to get off.
Get off of them.
Get off the pharmaceuticals.
Derek Pratt showed up in studio today.
There he is.
Morning, everybody. How are you?
Derek, is that a Donald Trump T-shirt you're wearing?
This is the mugshot T-shirt. Yes, you can see it on the merch page at shop.cancelthisshow.com.
That's pretty cool. You also brought in one of our new hats. Now, this has been we're showing you the website right now, cancelthisshow.com. You can go to the website. What is the latest right now? Would you say it's a 2-week?
So we are in the second week of the pre-order. So I'm just basically kind of getting a lot of the different hats, shirts, and everything, so I can do one large order. That way I'm not ordering one shirt at a time, 2 shirts at a time. This hat that Vic is showing is the America Trucker hat. I remember Vic saying something like he said that was his favorite hat. So Vic, that is your hat.
Thank you. I love this hat.
It's $30.
Okay.
No, they're $30 on the the Shopify store. Also, there is local pickup in the St. Louis area. Local pickup is in Eureka, Missouri for right now. We hope to maybe get a Chesterfield pickup, or maybe what we can do is get with me and do like a bulk pickup somewhere. But thank you to everybody that's ordered so far. I believe we have 7 or 8 orders so far.
Oh, awesome.
Different types of orders: hats, T-shirts, koozies, tumblers. So I have some different designs come in that are more on the lines of, just kind of the pithy type of phrases you would see on shirts. I'm actually working on something right now with another friend of mine to where we're going to be offering maybe like a leather type patch on the hat to give it a different look.
Cool.
So if you have any ideas that you want to, send it to merch at cancelthisshow.com, and that is the email address that directly gets you to me. So any information that you're getting from the merch at cancelthisshow.com email is me responding. So if you have any ideas, I'd love to kind of get with you and see if there's something that we can offer to everybody. Also, while I'm here, because we have a meeting after the show today, and that's the reason why I'm here. I have another gift that I brought in. So, Joe, if you would like to put that up on the screen, that'd be great.
He has it. What does he have over here? Oh, they're here.
The Cancel This Show boards are here.
Love it.
Derek, that is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
So they're actually in the studio now?
Yeah, they're right by the door.
Is that what I heard a bang?
Yeah, they're heavy. They're heavy.
Derek, tell everybody about your company too.
My company is Inside Out Custom Designs. That's Inside Out, as in inside and outside. Inside Out Custom Designs. You can find me on Facebook. I do a lot of woodworking. I do prints of, all different types of things. So like if you went to Hobby Lobby and found that little tchotchke for your bathroom, it's going to probably deteriorate within 6 months because it's made of crap wood. Get a hold of me. I'll make you a better one, and it's going to last even longer.
Oh, I love it. Thanks, man. You're welcome to hang out. We're going to move on to our boy. Now we're going to promote something else.
I've got one question though to ask for him.
Sure.
Is somebody wants to know on the chat line if you could make dog leashes. I'm not sure if Jeannie's meaning for Cancel This or just a custom one, although I think it's a great idea.
I'll be honest with you. I will take a look at it. No guarantees. But I know there's it would not be made by me, unfortunately. It would probably be one of those things where we just find a vendor that could actually, create something for us. That way, 1, we can keep the cost low, and 2, we can keep it to where it's same thing across the board.
Very good.
So yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Pro Joe, as we've talked about, has a podcast, and we wanted to give you a few excerpts. Pro Joe, can you lead into it? Because number one, Pro Joe has a new show. We have a sports football recruiting show that's going to start taping here tomorrow. We've got another kind of millennial conservative show that has begun. So the whole goal is to have a bunch of shows and people using the studio. We do rent the studio out, and we do have agreements and partnerships where you can work with us where we promote your show as well. And then we go out and get advertising for that too. So Pro Joe's got a really cool show that he wanted to promote to let you know that's going on.
Yeah, it's it's called Audio Inc. It's about arts and entertainment, mainly in St. Louis right now. We will expand once we get a little bigger, but we're focusing on the local arts and music, anywhere from tattoo artists to musicians we'll have on the show. Let's see. I'm on it about as much as I'm on this show. I have two hosts. One, his name is Pookie Jones. He's the bassist for, his name's actually Brian, but he's the bassist for Cavo. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that band. And Kara the Lesbian from the old Tom and Jeff show days. That's where I met her. And we were both big part of the Tom and Jeff show podcast when that was going on about 12 years ago.
I love the name Audio Inc. Do you have clips of it too?
I do.
While you're pulling that up, I have seen a little bit of his like the preview. I think it was like about a 5 or a 10 minute preview, and they were speaking about the one of my favorite local bands, The Urge.
Yeah.
And they
St.
were talking.
Louis knows The Urge.
As I say, The Urge was a big deal back in the early 2000s. You were talking about the pants or something like that. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious because I've been to so many of those ho-ho shows, and I'm like,
love it.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten older in time.
In honor of Weed Wednesday, we have a story of Kara the Lesbian's take on going into a dispensary.
First thing that we did when I landed is we drove by and there was a drive-through dispensary.
Oh, that's
and
wild.
It's recreational. Like you just drive through like you're getting a Big Mac. Like, hey man, I'll take that. No onions, please.
Now that is so wild to me, though, because have you ever been to another like dispensary ever?
Never.
Okay, so usually in other dispensaries, like they'll have you like walk in and you'll give them like your ID and they'll scan it and they'll be like, okay, yeah, you're good to go through. You're good to go through, and then you have to go through like this other set of doors. Like say this is the entrance to the dispensary. This is where you would give them your ID in this little room, and then we have another little door over here, and you would go through this other little door right here, and that would be the dispensary. Like that would be where everything is. And the what do you call them? Bud tenders. The bud tenders would greet you and maybe be like, "Hey, bro, how you doing? What's your flavor? What's your smoke of choice?"
Okay,
but they'll just be like, "Oh,
I
this
should go check it out.
This cat piss strain is so good, and oh, this diesel carbon monoxide, you're gonna love it." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
They didn't make this sound fun and Dare. Like, remember Dare back in the 90s?
Yes.
Right?
They're like, listen, if you take mushrooms, you're going to lay on the ground and see fun colors. You're going to see the walls melt. It'll be a great time, but don't do drugs, children. It was a very successful program, but that's exactly what I feel like
I
you're
have
doing
a
right now.
certificate from
Exactly.
Dale.
So how can people find Audio?
Having a great time.
Sorry.
Go to
audioincstl.com.
AudioIncSTL.com.
Yep, it premieres tonight at 6 p.m.
Okay, and how long is your show?
This one's going to be roughly about an hour and 40 minutes long.
Okay.
But they're normally going to be an hour long, but we figured we'd kick this one off with 2 guests instead of 1.
All right, makes sense to me. And tonight, are those the guests that are on tonight?
Yes.
Who are the guests?
We have Big Dave from Ink Spot, a good friend of mine, and very well-known humanitarian in the area, who owns a tattoo shop.
Okay.
And he's done all my artwork, but he's much more than just a tattoo artist. And then we have Jeff, the lead singer of a band called The Poor, a very talented musician, and everybody will see that tonight.
But there was a woman on there though. I just saw a woman. She's not on the show tonight.
No, well, we had 2 guests. Those 2 guests were from the pilot episode.
Oh, okay.
I can actually play a clip from tonight's show, but it's all right.
All right, it's all good.
Yeah. Those were basically just the pilot guests. But,
Pro Joe,
but
good
Jesse
luck,
wrote
man. We appreciate it. Love that you're doing something that you want to do as well.
And I will say, if you're a fan of the Tom and Jeff show back in the day, Kara the Lesbian has definitely evolved over time. She's amazing. She's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Just you never know what's going to come out of her mouth. So if you're into music or tattoos and stuff like that, I mean, no, it's worth just watching it.
She is the wild card,
Yeah.
and Pookie, aka Brian, keeps it all together, keeps it professional, and goes back to like that.
As they say, he's the shit show supervisor.
Right.
Yeah, shit show supervisor.
They
That's
have a
good.
great dynamic. This show is going to be awesome. You guys
I was blessed to be able to be here the first day and get to see a big portion of it in play. And it's very funny. It's not for the faint of heart. You don't want your kids in the room, but I'm going to tell you what.
It's definitely PG-13 or higher.
Yes, it is. But it's very funny. It's great freedom of speech. And that's what we don't have in many things in the world. I love it. And that's the same thing. If anyone knows of a podcast that you have a voice and you want to say it, the studio is absolutely second to none. We have a millennial show that's coming too. I'm not going to say it yet, but it's getting ready to come out. And that too is similar to the fact of what Vic and I talk about, but as a millennials say it. So it's going to be a hoot, guys. And the sports shows, there's a lot of things coming to the airwaves here on Renew Media.
And we just say thank you for watching, and thanks for watching this podcast. We got a crew today, so we say for Projo, Derek Pratt with our merchandise, Lizzie and co-host, and Lizzie Sparks and Vic Faust. Thanks for watching today, guys. We will catch up with you tomorrow for another edition of Cancel This.